Welcome to the Tresserhorn Estate. As far as our opening hand goes, we've got, man, this is a one-lander. Not going to keep on this bad boy. Oh, yeah, I actually kind of like this. We don't have a red source, but Torpor Orb certainly does help us, and it's going to stop Golos from getting, yeah, I think we're going to keep on this one. What do we want to put on the bottom? I think at this point, so we can go for Swamp on the bottom because we still have Talisman. Yeah, I think I kind of like that because we do want to hold on to Damnation. That's going to be like a safety valve just in case something gets a little bit nutty from our opponent's side of the battlefield. We are playing against Baby Golos. Don't even know a word yet. Little 8-pound sinks out. It's Baby Golos over there. So we don't know what they have in store for us. But yes, welcome to Lord Tresserhorn. Hope you're excited. It's going to lead off with Temple of Deceit. Let's get the Scry going. The Scurry. The Fever. The Insanity, the Descent into Team of Rage, just going to put that on the bottom. And then anything else, we're going to go and pass the turn over to our opponent. We're playing Lord Tresserhorn himself. Whenever Lord Tresserhorn enters the battlefield, you lose 2 lives, sacrifice 2 creatures, and target opponent draws 2 cards. Then for a green, not a green, I was thinking Nature's Lore. For a black mana activation, regenerate Lord of Tresserhorn. Playing against Baby Golos, little 8-pound 6-ounce Baby Golos. Whenever Baby Golos enters the battlefield, search your library for a baby land card, put it on the battlefield, tap, then shuffle your library. Then for a 2-mana Wooburg activation, exile the top 3 cards of your library. You may play them this turn without paying their mana cost. You know what? We're going to make Baby Golos normal Golos. That way we don't get hit with something kind of crazy. So, all right, so we run into Sad Robot, so that'll kind of help us out. Let's lead off with Urborg. And yeah, we're not really in danger of them going for Golos next turn, so let's go for Talisman of Dominance. And then next turn we can stick Torpor Orb and try to leave up Stubborn Denial potentially. I think I kind of like that. Anything else? Pass the turn over to our opponent. So we did cover both commanders. Let's give a quick shout out to our sponsors, TCG Player. If you'd like to feed Carnage Gladiator himself. Oh, well, actually, yeah, excuse me. We could have gone for Stubborn Denial, but they had the mana open for that. So, unfortunately, they did hit a Mana Accelerant and Mana Vault that will allow them to get Golos on the battlefield, but we'll see what we can do about that. But yeah, be sure to check out TCG Player. Make sure you feed Carnage Gladiator. It does cost a lot to have a Carnage Gladiator and keep it fed on Carnage. I don't know, it's very expensive. So if you enjoy my content, that is one of the best ways to support the channel by clicking that link. Also, let's give a quick shout out to inkgaming.com. If you go to inkgaming.com, you'll be able to check out some of my Neon Mad Mat playmats. And let's give a quick shout out to MTGOTraders. If you want to play Magic online, maybe play some Commander, get your own Lord Tresserhorn Gorn, be sure to check out MTGOTraders. And last but not least, if you're still keeping score at home, I started a Patreon, so if you'd like to directly support cool content like this, there's a link down in the description below. But if you're keeping score, it is officially free time. So we kind of missed the boat on Torpor Orb, and then we did miss the land drop for Sad Robot, so that's not going to allow us to get that going. I think at this point, with them getting pretty close to Field of the Dead, I think we need to go for Torpor Orb. I think that's going to be a better play for us. So let's go and get that down, and then anything else we'll pass the turn. So we're going to keep our fingers crossed for at least just another mana source. If we get another mana source, that it's going to allow us to go for Sad Robot, that's going to allow us to grab a mountain, put that on the battlefield, and then we'll get Lord Tresserhorn down and not have that humongous drawback to get down Lord Tresserhorn on the battlefield. If you never played Lord Tresserhorn, let me give you a heads up. It is... It takes some setting up. I mean, you know, this is kind of a token build of Lord Tresserhorn. You can see we've got Bitter Blossom, we've got Ophiomancer in the hand, and that's going to allow us to get a lot of cheap creatures out there. That way, if we do have to sacrifice 2 creatures, we can still end up with Lord Tresserhorn. But giving your opponent 2 card draw and sacrificing 2 creatures, that is... that's some rough magic. That's the iron price on magic right there. And I know our opponent's always happy to see that. But we've got some fun stuff to do with Lord Tresserhorn. And we'll talk about that here in a second. It looks like we're not going to be able to catch anything with this Stubborn Denial. So, all right, so we run into Black Blade Reforged. At this point, just to kind of stop the... Yeah, let's go for Ophiomancer. Because that's going to give us a death threat, not death threat, but a death touch token that we can block on some of these creatures. And that's going to allow us to stop some of this very slow bleeding that our opponent's going to go for. But yeah, with Lord Tresserhorn, as far as the actual build of this deck, it is kind of Grixis tokens. We've got Bitter Blossom. You can see we've got Ophiomancer out there. You just want to be able to cheaply sacrifice creatures that don't matter and still get down Lord Tresserhorn. And where the deck really shines is that I played against Sisay Shrines yesterday, so that's why I'm thinking of Shrines. But where it really shines is kind of going Voltron threat with Lord Tresserhorn. You can see we've got Blackblade Reforged in the hand. We also do have Tainted Strike, which is a lot of fun to get Tainted Strike down. That's always a good feeling. You're going to be able to get that infect damage. You've got Temur Battle Rage. We saw that earlier, so you can see where if we have Blackblade Reforged on Lord Tresserhorn, go for the Temur Battle Rage. Really, what you're trying to do with Lord Tresserhorn is set up a one-hit KO with commander damage. It's always a nice feeling. Oh, and excuse me, with Torpor Orb, that's not going to stop Field of the Dead. That's going to stop creatures from entering the battlefield and triggering things. The good thing is that will stop Spellseeker. But at this point, yeah, we're hoping for a lane to go for Damnation. That's going to be a pretty good option for us to hopefully kind of stop the onslaught that is coming. So, but this is also one of the, oh, there we go. That is beautiful. In fact, let's do this. Let's go Bloodstained Mire, and we desperately need to get ahead on mana. So let's crack Bloodstained Mire, and unfortunately, that's going to cut us off of Sad Robot, but I think at this point, we just go for Tresserhorn. I think I kind of like that. Then we go for Blackblade next turn, equip it. Yeah, that sounds like a pretty good plan. All right, so let's go for Lord Tresserhorn. And one of the good things is we still have Damnation. If we need to blow the board up, we can. But at this point, we can start chipping away at that board state on our opponent's side with Lord Tresserhorn and that axe. Now, we will see if they have... Okay, so they're going to go for Generous Gift on Torpor Orb, which is not the worst thing, because what we're just going to end up doing on this one is actually a pretty good heads-up play by our opponent, too. Let's go ahead and sacrifice the Snake token, and we'll sacrifice the freshly christened Elephant token that we got, and that's going to be Lord Tresserhorn. So anything else, we'll pass it back over to our opponent. But yeah, that was a good heads-up play by our opponent. They were able to stop the Torpor Orb. That's one of the ways that you can stop Lord Tresserhorn from giving you a big drawback, but hey, happy Halloween. It's fun to play with these random old commanders. So we're going to get that extra snake token on the battlefield. Now, if you and your loved ones are deciding to stay at the Lord Tresserhorn Estates, boy, do we have some activities playing for you. If you would like to go woodcutting with Lord Tresserhorn later in the day, he'll show you his favorite stump. He might even have you lay down and, see, he's pointing at it. He might even have you lay down and take a little nap on the stump. That's always a lot of fun. We always get some good feedback about that. How their loved ones enjoyed woodcutting with Lord Tresserhorn. We also do have a very nice, kind of like a shrub garden setup. And so if you want to get some good cardio in, we can set it up to where Lord Tresserhorn's going to chase you through that shrub bush maze. I mean, that's nothing better than that. You're going to be able to navigate a maze, get some good cardio, and then have this murderous zombie chase you down with an axe. Oh, that nothing gets better than a relaxing B&B stay like that. So, all right, so we got Field of the Dead kicking up. But yeah, you know, if you do end up staying at the Lord Tresserhorn Estates, we do hope that you end up leaving a good review, even if you end up dying. You know, if you're dead or undead, please leave a 5-star review. That's pretty much what we're looking for. All right, so our opponent's got Mana Drain on top of the library, and this is getting out of hand pretty quick. So that's going to be Spellseeker, which they will definitely be able to go for. Now, they do have Mana Drain on top. We'll see what they're going to go for with Spellseeker. The good thing is that it's going to shuffle that away. Let's see. Search your library for an instant or sorcery with 2. Reveal it, put it in your hand. So that's going to go straight into their hand. Let's see what they end up grabbing. If they grab a counter spell, at least we still have Stubborn Denial. This is one of those awesome cards in Lord Tresserhorn. You're going to be able to counter pretty much anything that comes your way. You know, you've got a 10-4 on the battlefield. That's definitely going to hit Ferocious. Okay, and our opponent did end up searching Cyclonic Rift. So if they go for Rift now, that would probably win them the game. That wouldn't be that much fun for them. I mean, they'd still be able to close it out. We would just have such a hard time closing it out from there. So let's see what we draw into. Draw into Tezzeret. Yeah, I think at this point we just go Blackblade. And then if we push in with Lord Tresserhorn, well, I mean, we can try to push in with Lord Tresserhorn. The only downside is Tresserhorn does not have Trample. We can always regenerate it if we need to. But I think at this point, We don't have enough for equip. We're going to have to equip next turn, and that's going to make us leave up Stubborn Denial. Yeah, I think at this point we just hold back. I mean, if they start to swing with some zombies. Yeah, because the worst thing that we're going to do is either they chump block with all the zombies and we take all of them out, which are probably not going to do that. They'll probably just block with like Spell Seeker or something like that. So yeah, let's just go and pass the turn. That way we do give the option to Lord Tresserhorn to swing his axe at whoever he wants. So, but yes, happy Halloween. If you're new to the channel and you're wondering what's going on, this production company that's putting these horror movies out, this is my week of Halloween decks. You know, I very much enjoy Halloween. It's one of my favorite holidays, and I love like old, just random, like I think 70s into 80s. That's like the best spot for like the old horror movies. Like they're really good, they're really quirky. You know, if they are gory, they're kind of like over the top gory to where it's not so scary. And so I don't know, it's just I don't know. Halloween's always my favorite time of the year, and especially you get to listen to the Nightmare Before Christmas soundtrack, which is a ton of fun. So, all right, so let's see if our opponent's probably going to leave up Cyclonic Rift. And that still does not give us trample. So let's go for Black Blade Reforged, equip. That's going to be 1, 2, 3. And we're still going to leave up Stubborn Denial. That's going to get, it's going to get +1/+1 for each land that you control. Normally you would end up with a lot of value, but at this point, we only have 3 lands on the battlefield. So now that we do have that equipped, let's go and pass the turn. And then we'll see what sort of board state we can assemble after that. Yeah, we have no trample. I guess we could start swinging in with our snake token. Yeah, that would be a good option. Yeah, let's go and do that. So let's go and swing with Snake Token. That's going to be a 1/1 coming across. If they want to block with one of the zombies, they certainly can, but at least we'll get in for an extra point of damage, and that'll put them down to 22. And actually, we probably could have done that a couple turns earlier, but hey, commentary. Anything else, pass it back over to our opponent. So we do know that they have Cyclonic Rift in the hand. We do see that Wrath of God on top of their library. So if they want to blow the entire board state up, they certainly can. If we end up going Stubborn Denial, which we're going to do that right now, let's see if this sticks. We've definitely got Ferocious online. They only have 2 cards in their hand. You know, they've got Counter Magic. Oh, yeah, Evasive Action. Okay, yep. I remember seeing that on top. Not going to be able to pay for that, but at least we still had to force the issue because we're going to be dead next turn anyway. So they're going to send everything back to the hand. We're going to have discard down to hand size, but it's only 2 cards, which is not the end of the world. Let's go and get rid of Tezzeret, and Bitter Blossom is way too slow right now, so we'll get rid of that. But I think this might be a good game. We've got 10 from Zombies. We've got Golos swinging it for 3. It's 13, 14. That's going to be 15, 16, 17. So it's not going to be game just yet. If we do rip another land off the top, that does give us the option to go for Damnation. But with Field of the Dead out there and a active Golos, it's going to be really hard for man, I don't know what they were thinking when they printed Field of the Dead. It's such a crazy card. I remember whenever they spoiled it. It's one of those cards that I love playing it. And oh, they went for the Golo. Okay, they went for the Golos active. I was like, where did all this stuff come from? But yeah, it's one of those cards that whenever it was printed in the core set M20, I was like, it's like, do y'all know what y'all made? That's it's not that hard to get to that many different lanes on the battlefield. So, all right, opponent's going to go for Dak fading off that Golos activation. We'll see what else is going to come out, but we're completely tapped out, and they got a Damnation they can cast if they want to. We'll kind of see what's going to happen, and probably only affect them, so we may not see that happen. But we've got the entire crew swinging across. That's going to put us down to 6 and 6 total commander damage from Golos. Let's see what we rip into off the top. We'll probably still... Ooh, that's going to be Ulamog. All right, so we have seen enough. We have seen enough. They popped the Badlands as if we had a chance to come back. Maybe they could hit our board, but no, we've got to knock this out. So, all right, good game to our opponent on this one. They're going to be able to get it. You can see where Field of the Dead is just an insane card in a ramp game like this. So, there we go. Unfortunately, we didn't get to chop anybody's head off with Lord Tresserhorn, but hey, we gave it our best. Sometimes you just have to lay on the stump and let Tresserhorn let you take a nap. Anyway, I'll see you in the next game. All right, bye. Welcome to the Tresserhorn Estates. As far as opening hand goes, I'd love it if we had a second land. Maybe I would keep on this one. Yeah, this is way too risky to keep. So we're gonna go ahead and mulligan on this one. And yeah, this is not very good. And yeah, we'll keep on this one. We've got lands. I think that was kind of all that we were looking for is in the following hands is do we have any lands that we can use? Let's go ahead and keep on this one. We have to put 2 cards on the bottom. Let's put plating on the bottom. And we've got Demonic Tutor. Is that what we're going to go for? So we can Mystical Tutor for like a combat. Yeah, I think we want to put Mystical Tutor on the bottom. So click OK. And then we're going to go and lead off with the Temple of Epiphany. Actually, let's do this because all of our black lands are going to come into play tap. So let's go ahead. And actually, excuse me, we have 3 scry lands. So either way, it's going to work out that way. Let's go and lead off. I was hoping we can go for Demon. Ooh. Ancient Tutor. That sounds like a pretty good thing. I mean, Ancient Tomb. And then anything else, we're going to go and pass the turn over to our opponent. But yes, welcome to the Tresserhorn Bed and Breakfast. We would like to personally thank you for deciding to stay here this weekend. We have a lot of fun activities planned for you, and I can't wait to talk about them here in just a second. So let's get our turn going. Let's rip into that Ancient Tomb. I was going to maybe Demonic Tutor for... I mean, because we're playing against Grixis, so whatever Demonic Tutor for, we most need like some sort of value threat. I feel like they're going to have some sort of answer for it. Let's do this. Let's go Ancient Tomb. We need to get, at the end of the day, we need to get some amount of creatures on the battlefield with Lord Tresserhorn. So let's do this. So let's get Demonic Tutor going. We may end up changing our target, but I think I want to go for some sort of token source. That way we can sacrifice some creatures. So let's get this popped out. You know what? Let's do this. Let's grab Bitter Blossom. That's going to be a good option for us. Grixis is going to have a pretty hard time dealing with an enchantment, and I feel like that's going to be the best bet for us to hopefully develop some sort of board state to where we can go for Lord Tresserhorn. It's always a little bit of a bummer. I think I always enjoy recording my Halloween decks, but Lord Tresserhorn is always one of my favorite Halloween decks, but it's so hard to get a good performance with Lord Tresserhorn. I mean, when you got to sack 2 creatures, give them 2 lands, I mean, woo, that's a lot of magic stuff. So we did cover Lord Tresserhorn. It's going to cover Nicol Bolas. Whenever Nicol Bolas enters the battlefield, each opponent's going to discard a card. Then for a 7-mana Grixis activation, that's going to turn into a Planeswalker. And then once it does, that's pretty much good game. Ooh. That is rough. We'll take a look here in a second. I'm just going to lead off with a Bitter Blossom. There we go. I'm just going to get a blue-red source down. Let's go for Temple of Epiphany because we don't really need access to double black, at least right now. This is going to be Shivan Reef. Let's go and put that on the bottom, and then anything else, pass it over to our opponent. So let's check out Grixis, Nicol Bolas as a Grixis Planeswalker. It's going to be +2, draw 2 cards, -3, 10 damage, target creature or Planeswalker, -4, put target creature or Planeswalker from a graveyard onto the battlefield under your control. Then for a -12, exile all but the bottom of target player's library. So there we go. But yeah, it's officially free time. Let's have some fun. But yeah, with Lord Tresserhorn, one of the favorite things we enjoy doing here at the bed and breakfast is chopping wood. You know, it's a lot of fun. If maybe you become good friends with Tresserhorn, he'll show you his favorite chopping chopping stump. Might even take you out there and show you, let you take a little nap on it. I don't know, whatever floats your boat. All right, so it's going to be Nicol Bolas entering the battlefield, and I think at this point we'll just chunk. Yeah, I'd almost rather make a land drop than cast Chandra and have Nicol Bolas swinging at Chandra. I mean, we can get some elemental tokens for free, but that's going to be some setting up. So let's do this. So let's go and discard Chandra. That's going to be okay, and then we're going to keep our fingers crossed for some sort of card advantage or something. One of the good things with Bitter Blossom, at least getting these Fairy Rogues, is going to buy us a little bit of time to stop Nicol Bolas from doing some bad stuff to us. So we do have Steam Vents, but we don't have the necessary creature count for Lord Tresserhorn. So let's go and lead off with Temple of Malice. Get the Scry going, the Scurry, the Fever, yeah, and we had triple Fever, triple Insanity. Look at that. I think that's the first time that's off. Another lands, put that on the bottom, and then anything else past turn. Yeah, I think that's the first time we've had triple Scry, Scurry, and Fever, which is always a lot of fun. But yeah, outside of the bed and breakfast of Lord Tresserhorn, what are we doing at the bed and breakfast? We've got some fun stuff. This deck kind of breaks down into almost like a third Grixis Super Friends. And then they're swinging at us. We need to get a creature down at this point, so we're going to let this happen. It's going to put us down to 21. But yeah, it's almost kind of like a third Grixis Super Friends, a third kind of Spellslinger tokens, and then a third Voltron with Lord Tresserhorn. We've got a couple different high-impact cards in here. We've got Blackblade Reforged, which is a lot of fun, especially having a lot of lands like this. And it's going to pump up Lord Tresserhorn. We have some pretty cool combat tricks. We're looking at like Assault Strobe, Teamer Battle Rage. We do have the Tainted Strike that's going to allow you to give Lord Tresserhorn Infect, which is a really good feeling. Always enjoy that. All right, so let's see what we draw into. If not, we might just... Ooh. Okay, so we've got Hero's Downfall. So let's do a little bit of Grixis math on Nicol Bolas being flipped into a Planeswalker. That's going to be 7 total mana. So it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So they are online for that 7 mana. Let's go and lead off with Smoldering Marsh. And instead of going for... Yeah, let's do this. So let's go ahead and swing in with 1. And then if they dump all of their mana into Nicol Bolas, we're going to be able to go for Hero's Downfall in response to that. And then hopefully that's going to clear the way for Lord Tresserhorn, because then they have to pay that mana again. Yeah, we'll see. We're going to try to grind this one out. It's going to be a little rough, but there is no better feeling in Magic than when Nicol Bolas taps out to turn it into a Planeswalker, and you've got some spot removal. That is... If you don't win the game, it still feels really good. All right, so we got Nicol Bolas swinging in. What that come across is going to put us down to 16, and that'll put us at 8 total commander damage. So we'll see if they end up going for that Nicol Bolas flip, and that's going to go to their end step. So let's see. So we do have the option to Hero's Downfall right now. They can flip in response to that. Yeah, let's get into this kind of like chicken game. I kind of like this. Let's just wait for them to make the move with Nicol Bolas. So let's go and lead off with Field of the Dead. We're actually very close to a Field of the Dead, getting a lot of zombies on the battlefield, which is a good feeling. Let's go and swing across with 2 Fairy Rogues. And now that we do have at least 2 creatures on the battlefield, what we'll probably end up doing a Bitter Blossom is blocking on Nicol Bolas to kind of stop that from happening. So swinging it for 2, I'm just going to put them down to 25, and then anything else will pass the turn. Now, if we do assemble a big enough Fairy Rogue army, we might be able to close it out without Lord Tresserhorn. We'll see. And let's see if they're going for Nicol Bolas right now. We will end up going for Hero's Downfall. I guess we can let it resolve. I'm trying to figure out if there's any sort of sequencing we need to worry about. I think at this point, we just want to send Nicol Bolas back to the command zone. So that's going to be, well, maybe. We'll see. We'll see if they're tapping out for it or not. It looks like, yeah, they're just simply just going to go and pass the turn and tap down 1 blue mana. Okay, so let's see what they're going to do. I mean, we've still got the Fairy Rogue block on Nicol Bolas. If we can just stop the commander damage, we'll have a chump blocker for days. And if, we're perfectly fine. We've got a drawback commander. It's going to make us sacrifice 2 creatures and let them draw 2 cards. So we're definitely in the waiting seat. That's exactly what we're going for. So let's go for Fairy Rogue block on Nicol Bolas. It's going to stop that, stop the commander damage, and then we've got 15 turns to figure something out. So they do have 3 cards in the hand, so we'll see what sort of threats they're going for. They almost did tap out from the Nicol Bolas activation at the end of our turn, so I'm hoping maybe they don't have a counterspell or they don't have something really good. One of the things that we don't want to see is if we tap out for Lord Tresserhorn, sack 2 tokens, and then they have a spot removal spell. Oh, that would hurt. All right, so let's go for the counterspell test. We're going to go for Hero's Downfall. We'll see if this is good. And unfortunately, we should have tapped down Temple of Malice. All right, there we go. All right, so let's go into get rid of Nicol Bolas. It's not going to come back onto the battlefield. They sunk that mana in there. Our opponent cracked the seal on our spot removal, and they did not crack Scalding Tarn, so it looks like we don't have to worry about any sort of counter magic from our opponent. All right, ooh, Chandra. I kind of like that. Yeah, we go Chandra with the Elementals. Yeah, sounds like a pretty good plan. So let's go Chandra. That's going to be double red, tap down Field of the Dead. And either way, we're going to have to tap down for Chandra. Excuse me, tap down Ancient Tomb. So let's have Chandra come down. Let's go for the Elemental tokens off Chandra. And it kind of looks like we're kind of getting somewhere. It's going to be, get those Elemental tokens, make the land drop. That should be Field of the Dead. Not going to pay 2 life. Get the Field of the Dead trigger. Look at that. All right, so let's go and swing in. That's going to be 8 coming across, dump them down to 17. And now they're kind of in a position where if they just simply just go for Nicol Bolas, we've got Chandra to get these Elemental tokens out. We've got at least 3 Fairy Rogues on the battlefield. So we get some pretty good stuff moving on our side. Pretty much the only thing we don't want to see is a Nicol Bolas cast and a Nicol Bolas activation in the same turn. But if they do end up going for that, that is That's going to be a ton of mana. And they probably deserve to win the game if that's going to happen. So, because that would be Nicol Bolas, that's going to be 6 plus 7. That's going to be 13 total mana. Ooh. That's going to be Inferno Titan on a board of 1/1s. Oh, goodness. They can send some damage over to Chandra if they want to. Let's see how they decide to do. Okay, so they do end up targeting the Fairy Rogues. We still have a zombie token, though. And let's see. Let's see what we rip into. We're having fun, though, and that's what matters. So, see what we draw into. Draw into Dragon Skull Summit. At least that's going to be another zombie. We do have the option to go for... So if we do end up going elementals, we're going to get them for 5. That's going to put them down to 12. We might be able to go for the Chandra Ultimate and block on Inferno Titan. I think I kind of like that. I mean, it's better than Lord Tresserhorn at this point right now. And the main thing is, yeah, so we can swing him a zombie token, and then we end up going for the -X, and that's going to be 4 damage, and we still end up with Chandra. But I doubt they're going to block with Inferno Titan on that. Let's make the land drop. It's going to be Dragon Skull Summit. It's going to give us an extra zombie on the battlefield. Yeah, I think we just want to slam into our opponent right now. I think that's going to be the better option. So let's go Chandra. Let's go and swing in with the zombie tokens and the elemental tokens. And then we'll worry about next turn what's going to happen with that. So let's go and swing in. It's going to be zombie, 2 elemental tokens. Now, if we want to go for Lord Tresserhorn, yeah, why not? Let's do it. Let's have some fun. All right, so we're going to go for Lord Tresserhorn. We are going to get free real estate with Lord Tresserhorn and these elemental tokens. Look at this value. Let's go and have Lord Tresserhorn. We're going to give him 2 card draw, but hey, we're here to have some fun. It's Happy Halloween, and if we don't go for this, I don't know. I don't like not going for Lord Tresserhorn. So let's go and sacrifice the 2 elemental tokens. There we go. And now, if they do have some sort of spot removal, we at least have the option to go for the regeneration activation with Lord Tresserhorn. Next turn, we've got... Yeah, because we've got Lord Tresserhorn holding down Inferno Titan. We've got Chandra with 2 elementals swinging in. That's going to be 3. That's going to be a 10-4 with Lord Tresserhorn. Yeah, we might be able to get this one. Let's see. It's going to get close, though. You know, if we can get the game to this close with Lord Tresserhorn, I consider that a W in our book. So let's see what they're tapping at for. It looks like it's going to be 7 total mana. And that's going to be Nicol Bolas Planeswalker. Oh, no. Okay. +3, lose 3 life unless that player... If they end up going for the -3, we still have the regenerate from Lord Tresserhorn, so I think that might work out. I mean, that's not the worst thing that can happen, Nicol Bolas the Deceiver. Destroy target creature. Let's go ahead and pay for the regenerate. The only downside is that's going to stop us on blocking Inferno Titan. And they still get to cash in a card draw. So, all right. So that's going to be Lord Tresserhorn. Unfortunately, it's going to tap down. If you don't know that, whenever they regenerate a creature, the creature is tapped. But we're still in a good spot. You know, let's say our opponent has another piece of removal, and we at least do have another activation off the Temple of Deceit to make sure that Lord Tresserhorn sticks around. So let's see if Inferno Titan's going to swing in or not. Swing in for 6. They're probably going to deal the 3 damage up top. No, excuse me. They're going to do 2 damage and 1 damage. And that's going to be them swinging in for 6. Okay, there's nothing we can do about that. So they swing in for 6. It's going to put us down to 3. Oh, yeah, they're going to be able to pump up Inferno Titan. Oh, that's a bummer. Okay, so we got close. Let's always yield to that. Good game to our opponent. Totally forgot about the fire breathing on Inferno Titan. So there we go. Good game to our opponent. You know, we did have it next turn. If they don't have any sort of spot removal, we're able to dodge Nicol Bolas and Nicol Bolas Planeswalker. When you're playing a commander that has a big drawback of sacrificing creatures and letting your opponent draw cards, I mean, that is that's pretty rough. But hey, it can still be fun playing that game, getting into situations where you're like, hey, I might win with this. So anyways, if you enjoyed the video, hey, like and subscribe, and Happy Halloween.